back with Jeffrey. What's up, Jeffrey? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, John? It's been a crazy couple of weeks because we we all do traveling.
I was traveling out of town last week, and I didn't bring my Odroid Plus or handheld. But even if I had, I realized I don't have any arcade games on my handheld.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I had to play.
Wow.
I played this using my Odroid N2 Plus at home. So how you been, man? You been good?
Oh, it's been going. Back at home, obviously, back in the lair, the gaming lair here. I call it my Switch harem, my harem of Switch everywhere. But yeah, it's been a crazy week. Of course, working on premium and books and all the madness, man.
So this is episode 2 of our retro gaming challenge, I think is what we're calling it.
Yeah, we called it Retro Gaming Challenge, something like that. And we already failed the going out of the gate because literally did a random challenge on this, and then what happened, John?
The game didn't load up, right?
Didn't load up on the Odroid. So
what was the original game that we picked? I remember.
So the original game was Macross on the X68000.
Okay. So we ended up picking Macross Plus. For the arcade.
Macross Plus for the arcade, yeah.
Yeah, which actually ended up being a good game. I mean, I've never played this shooter before. It's a vertical shooter, so I would like it's like 1942 on steroids.
That's like an understatement. And I've actually played the original game in the series. So this game was released in '96. And they're all like the Ben Presto shooters. They're like super bullet heli shooters. The original one was Super Space Force Macross, and it was a lot easier. It was actually something you could play and enjoy. This one is like super difficult, Super Space Force, and so it's like basically the plus version. I don't know. It must just be insane.
Well, the game itself is based on, I guess, a Japanese anime, right? Pretty popular anime series. It's kind of funny because this is the second game we've picked. Episode 1, we talked about another really famous Japanese show. So it's kind of funny that both our games we've picked so far have been based on Japanese shows. But yeah, Super Space Fortress Macross is geared towards more like younger audience, more simple, to your point.
This or our simpleton old fingers.
Yeah, this is on like super difficult. I'm glad I didn't put actually coins in this, because if I put quarters, I probably would have spent like $15 or more to go through all 7 stages. It's nuts. Like you have that super shot. Like there's 3 characters you choose from, right? And they all have kind of a special power or a special shot that get like 3, and you can get a few more later in the game. But
like every time you die too.
But every time you die, you get 3 more. But the final boss in this game, I kind of took like over 30 of those super shots. Just to defeat it. So
I only got through the 4th level myself.
Yeah.
I think it was 7 levels.
7 stages. Yeah.
Wow. That's insane.
And then when you beat it, there's no credits. As it goes back, like very little storyline, right? It's just a shooter, and then it just reverts back to the stage 1 again.
Wow. So I did read online, because I had to do some research since I was so terrible at this game. That if you beat it a second time, the 2 male characters have a different ending. The unnamed female pilot does not, though.
I didn't realize that there was like different endings for each pilot. That's interesting.
Well, there's a separate ending the second time you beat it.
Like the second time you beat it. Okay.
Ghosts and Goblins
style. Yeah. So okay, I see. Yeah, and they all have different powers. So the first male character has like a blue beam as a special shot.
My favorite.
My favorite. I agree with you. My favorite character. The second dude has like a bomb, like kind of blast that kind of spreads out. And the female character has a kind of a spread shot.
Yeah, like little yellow spread shots. Yeah.
Yeah. The power-ups in this game are pretty scarce. I mean, when you die, you drop them and you can collect them again. But it's hard, man, this game, because one shot, you're done. And it's like, if they spread the bosses will spread those bullets out at you, and if you don't like do exactly right, you're done for.
Oh, you're absolutely done for. And I mean, one thing I did enjoy, which I think is part of the strategy of the game, is you have to keep tapping the shot button. But if you hold it brings out the cross, and then you can like target a bunch of missiles on the characters.
Yeah, they're heat-seeking missiles. Yeah.
So that's got to be the strategy, like, because some of the bosses will like come at you. And so you've got to use that heat seeker on there, but like I couldn't figure it. I kept dying. Like,
and the longer you hold it down, the more powerful that gets too. I don't know if you notice the meter in the bottom; it like fills up. So if you hold it down for like 3 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever it is, like you have a maximum. But there's so many enemies, and there's no slowdown in the game. I think that for coming out in '96, I'm actually really surprised. Graphically, this game really holds up really well.
probably
Like,
why I suck at the game, because it's so fast. Like, stuff is just
so
flying at
fast, no slowdown. And I really like it almost is like a 3D, the scaling, the 3D scaling in this game are really
you.
cool.
So impressive, like
You
said.
you go across like this. There's one, I think it's level 4. You have like the asteroids. I think there might be 5, level 5. There's like a asteroid stage, and the asteroids, like the way they span, look all 3D, and like you go over like a arch, and it's like this game would be really cool in like the 3DS and 3D.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing. Like what they did with the Sega Genesis games, where they
Yeah,
kind of gave it that
because it has
extra
like almost a
3D.
3D perspective. I mean, the parallel scrolling. I mean, they did a really good job with this game, which is really cool. So graphically, I think this game, I'd give it like a 9 out of 10 for when it came out, '96. Really impressive. Gameplay wise, it's pretty redundant. To be honest with you, it's pretty. I mean, most shooters.
I only got through the 4th level.
Most shooters are. I mean, it's kind of like each level, probably each stage probably takes about like, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes to get through, right? Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing kind of over and over again.
So you just inherently told people, as I played the game for about 20-25 minutes before I was like, yeah, I'm done, because I got through the 4th level.
Yeah, it took me probably like 40 minutes to complete the game. But most arcade games are like that, right? It's a quarter. This is a quarter eater.
Luckily, you press a button and you keep on coining up.
Yeah. I mean, if it was like coins, like I said, I probably would have spent like $15 or $20 on this thing. This thing, there'd be points where I put a credit in, and literally like 15 seconds later, all 3 are like, I get boom, 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 hit. I'm like, brutal. But I like that you can change.
You're much better than me at this game, because I would have probably spent like $100.
I like how you can change characters every time you add a new credit, which is cool. That's cool. So it's kind of like Turtles or whatever. You can change characters. So
what do you think about after you exhausted your lives, how the power up, you'd have like the max power ups pop up, and then by the time you got your character, like at least one, you would miss it every time. Miss it
every time. You'd miss it every time. Yeah. It does play fast. That was super fast. And there's some power up you get where you actually turn into a mech. I don't know if you noticed that or not. Which
I could not get that one, but yeah, I knew about it.
I don't really know what it does, to be honest, because it doesn't really change your shot much.
Makes your shot harder to, or easier, harder to avoid.
Maybe get smaller. I don't know, but yeah, there is like a mech. You do transform into like from a ship to a mech, and it would pop up occasionally, but I really didn't know the benefit of that, to be honest with you.
Okay, so, yeah.
Did you ever get that? You didn't experience that?
No, I saw it online because I had to research after. I saw it. But like I never got to experience the fun because I was just too bad at the game.
The version I was playing, the audio was really low, so it was really hard for me to hear the music. So I don't know how's the music in this game, because I couldn't hear it very well.
So the music's pretty good, but the shots are so loud that it envelops the whole musical score. So you kind of miss a little bit of the music that you would like to hear. Wish you could like adjust the audio like you would in like a console version, where you could adjust the sound effects in the music and make the music a little louder.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Okay. But yeah, I agree the graphics are absolutely stellar. Difficulty wise, just knocks that down to okay, we'll play it once for something like this and probably never touch it again.
I think the thing that really hurts this game is the difficulty and just the redundancy of the game too. I'm more of a side-scrolling shooter kind of guy, like an R-type kind of game personally myself. I prefer that style of shooter.
Mm-hmm. I love Life Force and Salamander. Like I love those.
Yeah. And I like shooters, but with every shooter, they're all kind of. That's the thing, and same with beat 'em ups. They all kind of get redundant, right? That's the thing about that genre of games.
Well, and so, like for a while, I was obsessed with bullet hell shooters, and those Espagalugas and Dodom Pachis and all those games. But what they have that this one doesn't is like, I don't know if it's like just the design or something, but you press a button, you can slow down and like weave in and out of the bullet hells because like your ship moves around so fast.
Right.
Like, in those games, you could press a button and hold it, and you could carve.
Yeah,
and
you
like
can't do
weave
that.
in and out of the builds.
I didn't notice that in this game because it's.
I just kept running into stuff.
Yeah, it's hundreds of bullets, and the way they spread later on, the enemies they spread the bullets. Like, how do you even avoid that? Because they just spread it, and you have like maybe maybe a micro, centimeter just to go through. I mean, it's crazy how.
And then when you tap the button, at least on these, maybe this would be the advantage of playing in the actual stand-up machine, where like maybe the joystick is a little more sensitive than the controls are inherently in emulation. That could be. I hope so, because otherwise, I mean, we're just gonna get comments to get good in the comment section, and then like we got no excuse but to get good.
Did they release other Macross games after this? Do you know?
So there's definitely one before it, the Super Space Force. I know
there's other.
There was an arcade one.
Was this the last arcade one? I don't remember ever seeing this in the arcade. It must have been huge in Japan. I don't remember seeing it in the arcades I went to anyway in the mid '90s.
No.
Mid '90s was like huge for arcades, right? That's kind of the resurgence of arcades, because that's when I don't know. '90s was like when Mortal Kombat hit the scene and Street Fighter and all the fighters and shit, So.
I'm doing a little awesome on recording research, and I see some from '93 and things, but I don't see anything from like.
Yeah, and I think they did different, not just like other shooters. Like I think they released other style games. Like I think they did like, I don't know, different genres of games too. I mean, it's a huge anime in Japan. So
there's tons of Macross games for sure on console. It moved to console around the same time too, and then started to hit up all the series and all the systems.
I'm a big fan of like I'm getting more into anime. Like I was a huge fan of like Starship Yamato, which was a huge like sci-fi anime. This kind of reminds me of like a sci-fi kind of anime style,
or like a Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check this out. I don't know if it's on Crunchyroll. I'm assuming it's on Crunchyroll. I'll have to go check this out, see if it's on there.
Yeah, it's an old school anime. I know that for sure. I've never watched it myself either, but I do know that it's around like all the ships and things and the mech warriors and all Robotech.
So I'd probably give this like a 5.5 or 6 out of 10 if I were to scale it. Great graphics, but I think the thing that dooms this game is the difficulty and just the repetitiveness. How about you? Would you kind of rate this game?
So I mean, I didn't even use the infinite credits to beat the game, so I'm definitely down in the 5 level, like lower than the 6, just because. And the fact that I wasn't even that good at it, but I'm pretty good at shooters, is like, okay, the difficulty is just way too hard for me to be enjoyable. And it's one of those, I like to enjoy my games.
If you're spending real money on this game, it'd be frustrating as hell. Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, you and I would have each put in a quarter and been like, all right, they were done. Because we did 5 seconds.
You get the diehard bullet hell shooter fans that like love this style game, like love these shooters and that might stick around, but it's a small, niche, So okay.
So I'm at a 50%, 5 out of 10. Yeah.
Right on. Fair enough. Yeah. You want to pick the next game, man? You got the system in front of you?
I got system in front of me. Let's turn this sucker on.
We gotta make sure it works.
Yes, we have to make sure it works this time. I'm gonna go back and go into all games. Now, we can play PlayStation and Vita and PSP and things like that too in the future. That won't be on my Odroid, but we can play it on anything. I have so many games at the house. Yeah. So what we'll do, I don't know if you can see this on the screen.
Okay.
I pressed the button. I can't see it.
Random. Okay.
I hit the wrong random button. Ha! All right. I hit the button. What do we got?
I can't read. It's hard for me. The screen's really small. I can't.
It's a quiz game. Yeah, we're not going to do a quiz game, are we?
No.
All right. Now we got fighting soccer. Do you want to try fighting soccer? I don't think so either. So that's the thing is like when we do these random ones. How about, have you ever played Arkanoid Revenge of Doe, the second Arkanoid?
I have. Is that for the arcade?
I've played it as well, but I've only played it on the Famicom, but
okay,
because I have the Famicom Voz controller for that, so we both played it. And remember, our rules for this Retro Random Challenge, I think that was the actual name, Random Challenge, is that neither of us had to play the game.
Right.
So, have you played Knights of Valor before?
I have not.
Beat 'em up.
It's a beat 'em up. Yeah, what's it for? What platform?
It is a beat 'em up for the arcade. It was set in medieval China, and it was developed by IGS. So it is a beat 'em up.
Okay.
I think it looks like something that was released on the like Mega Drive or the Genesis, on like the bootleg side.
Okay.
For it.
Yes.
So
let's check it out. That's cool.
That's cool. So we're gonna be playing Knights of Valor. and I have a little list created on this Odroid where I've called the backlog. I'm just going to throw it in the backlog so that way it saves it. So that way.
Save it. Yeah, that's cool.
All right.
Cool.
So now, while we chat, I'm going to launch it up so we know it loads. So that way we won't change the game on everybody for next week and be like, oh, psych, we're not playing this game. We're playing another game now. Exactly. It definitely loads.
Okay.
It definitely loads.
Let's do it.
Knights of Valor Superheroes.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like the animation style. That's cool. I like beat 'em up.
1999. So we got to have some good animation in this.
Okay. The late 90s arcade.
That's super rad.
Cool, man.
Super rad, man. But yeah, like that was craziness. So so we got a couple minutes, a couple seconds, whatever. Yep. Like what's been going on in the news with gaming? There's a bunch of stuff, man. Bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
What are you excited about right now, John?
Nothing top of mind, man, to be honest with you. What are you excited about? I mean, you tell me.
So number one, I got my Collector Vision Phoenix.
Okay.
Definitely got that.
Yes.
I was waiting a while for that because you had the whole, we had a shipping thing when with COVID and everything. So I was tracking I do my own kind of releasing books and stuff. Everything's delayed. But I got it. Sydney Hunter on it is it's not a ColecoVision game. It's such a fun game.
It's a good game, yeah. It's a fun port.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
But Nintendo did a few announcements. They got that whole new Skyward Sword amiibo, and they got some other stuff that they've announced. People are disappointed by the eShop stuff that came out. So that not the eShop, but the virtual console. They released some Famicom games and stuff, and Super Famicom games, Japanese stuff. And everyone's like, "Why aren't they releasing my favorite game?" And
there's always gonna be someone like that, right?
Yeah, I just like that they're giving us new experiences. To me, yeah. Because if I want to emulate stuff, we got devices for that. I'm just I want to see what Nintendo does with Nintendo's way.
Yeah.
So we do have, at least from the premium side of things, right? Since I run premium edition games and publish Switch games, we are going to be launching our Series 2 Premium Direct soon. So we're going to be doing a Nintendo Direct, but for our next 2 games that we're releasing, and we're going to announce the pre-order date coming soon and everything else. And because our Series 1 is on a ship and should be arriving tomorrow, in a week or so, and be shipping out. So
I can't wait to get my copies, dude.
Yeah, we're absolutely about to be through the moon. It'll be great. So that'll be, we have at least 2 or 3 surprises that we haven't announced that we're going to be pushing on this Direct.
When are you looking to do that? In a couple weeks, or?
It should be done pretty soon. So there's a YouTube channel, Console Wars. My buddy Dan from there, he's actually doing the video editing on it. And we have a new artist that created caricatures of us, and we kind of
cool
and stuff, which is really fun. And so he's almost finished editing, and then we're going to set a watch along, and we'll launch the video.
Very cool. Yeah. I'm excited to check it out.
Oh, it's gonna be real fun, and we got some big stuff coming for the next series, and it's gonna be, we call them series because we go so slow. We only 2 games every half of a year, essentially.
That's kind of smart, though. You're new company. You don't want to put too much on your plate. I totally respect that. So.
And it's fun. Because it's I only got to deal with and worry about a couple games. Plus, then we make it a thing with these little patches that we do, the premium. Here's our first 2 challenge patches. I sew them on my own stuff.
Cool.
And you earn those by playing our games, and people will post them online per the instructions on the challenge card inside every game that we release.
Oh, that's awesome. Very cool.
It's a fun thing. But yeah, man. So. What do you got going on, John? You always got stuff.
Well, yeah. So, like you said, we just released the Phoenix, the second batch, and it's funny that once we release it, everyone's comes out of the woodwork. Hey, I want one. I want one. Before we had pre-sales up for forever on this thing, and it's a passion project for us. We don't have really much markup on it, and it's so much labor intensive to do these. Poor Toby, literally puts these together by hand. It's nuts. In his house, it takes up half his house. So we're gonna look at other options, maybe team up with someone to help us with doing another run. But at this point, we don't know. To be honest with you, I see they've been going on eBay for $600, $800 or more secondhand. It's pretty incredible, crazy. One guy's trying. someone's trying to sell that City Hunter game for $600 on eBay right now, which is
I
insane.
will sell you my copy. Everybody's viewing for $500, and then I will give half of it to John, and and he can do another review. Like for real, the game's awesome, and then I'll just get another one from John.
The game's awesome, but it's not that awesome to spend $600 on it, to be honest. But it's a great game. I don't think any game's really for the ColecoVision is worth $600 worth playing.
You know how crazy eBay is, John? Though, like people are buying Super Blood Hockey from Premium Edition Games for $80, and they could buy it on our website for $40 right now. It's still there.
Right.
Ship immediately and faster than eBay, and people are buying it on eBay. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll put a link to your website below. Go to your website to buy direct. So also Dead Tomb came out for the NES, limited run, finished out. They just shipped that. I don't know if you got a copy or not, but that shipped out. They did a really good job with it. Came out with the map and stickers and. They did a really good job with it, so happy the way that turned out.
And I'm super happy that they're doing stuff like Dead Tomb, because I am not happy that they're just re-releasing some of the other retro games that are already on retail from like during the heyday, like when they're pushing out like Night Trap for Sega CD. Not the Switch one. Switch one's cool, but for the Sega CD, like, come on, give us some new stuff. Give us Dead Tomb, other stuff like that. You know how many homebrew games? Like, they're all behind me. I got thousands of homebrew games back there. Like,
I see your Haunted Halloween behind you. Haunted Halloween '86.
Oh yeah, like I got Haunted Halloween, Battle Kid, Starkeeper, Homebrew World Championships. I go lower, and there's like
Goofy Foot. You got the Goofy Foot controller. Yeah, nice.
Oh yeah, Steve. That's the original promo that he brought to Portland back in the day.
Steve's a great guy. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. We also releasing City Hunter, Curse of the Mayan, and the Japanese eShop by the end of the month, by June. So that's been a crazy task because there's a lot of dialogue in that game, and to translate in the Japanese is a challenge, and just the little things, not just the dialogue, but like press up to do this, you got to translate that, you got to make sure I just finished editing a trailer in Japanese trailer for the game, and all that good stuff, and so it's been taking up a lot of my time, to be honest with you. But we're excited. I'm curious how it will do in Japan. It'll probably take off in Japan. It's doing okay in North America. We really didn't have any expectations as far as how well it would do or not do. So I really don't have any basis to say, yeah, it's doing great or it's doing terrible. I really didn't know. And, so we still releasing on Xbox One, the PS4, PS5, all that. So that'll be before the end of the year. So we still have some upcoming releases. We just released it on the arcade. Have you heard of the arcade?
Yeah.
RCA, cool, super cool dudes. And we just released it last week on that platform, so that's cool.
Can we get it on the Evercade? At least one of the versions.
You know what, the Evercade, yeah. So I've been talking to those guys, and we like literally had like a deal, like we're like, we got kind of a verbal agreement, and the dude that kind of just dropped off the face of the earth. And I'm like, what happened? And I haven't really heard from the guy, to be honest with you. So I don't know.
Because with that console coming out too now, the Evercade VS or Versus, whatever they end up calling it, that would be awesome. And even if it's like the Super Nintendo version of City Hunter, or one of the versions, because it has a retro back end.
We had like a bundle. It was going to be a collector vision bundle with a bunch of games ranging from Sega Master System, ColecoVision, Super Nintendo, the NES. We had like 5 or 6 games that we were going to bundle in at one cart. And the dude, like, last time I heard back from him was like late February, and I sent follow-ups. And
subscribers have to know, like, Collector Vision has like hundreds of games. Like there's so many Coleco games. You could do like Coleco collections for days. Like,
yeah,
like so many good games. I remember when I created the NES Oddities in the Homebrew Revolution, I went over and was like talking with you and Toby and those about like all the NES games you guys were going to do eventually. And I put a lot of them in there with some screenshots, and a lot of them still never came to fruition because you had so many games that you were going to port over.
I know.
It was like those expanded ColecoVision games that look almost like NES, and then you're going to like expand those over to NES. And it was like Spunky's car, the car game.
Oh, that came out for the ColecoVision. We did release that for ColecoVision.
And there was going to be an NES port at some time around when I put out the book. And it still hasn't came out yet. And I'm like,
Finding programmers is tough, man. We've been working on City Hunter for the NES port. The Caverns of Death, the same game, came out for ColecoVision. And it's just been, I love the programmer to death, but he's just been very busy, and, just we kind of I'm fortunate at the mercy of his time. So I'll continue to follow up, and that game will come out. Same with Justice Beaver for the Super Nintendo. It's been in development for 5 years, man.
Oh, I forgot about Justice Beaver. Oh my
So I
gosh.
just I just got a message from the programmer because the programmer's been hit really hard with COVID, and he like lost his job and he had to do a whole bunch of stuff, and it's terrible. So, but I just got a message today. He's like, dude, I'm going back on development in June, hardcore like next month, and let's just get this done. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Let's get this done.
How often do you get messages at this point?
Occasionally, not as often as you'd think, and people have been extremely patient, and I really appreciate that. We're not looking to take anyone's money. If we need to give refunds, we will. If people ask for it, we will give refunds back. But people have been very patient, and it's been very much appreciated.
I appreciate that with the retro gaming community, because like when I'm doing an NES release or a book release, people are super cool. I will tell you with the Switch side, it's every day. People are like, "Hey, where's my Super Blood Hockey? Or where's my Kitchen Dev?" And I'm like, "Well, we had a podcast, or we posted a newsletter, and it's like we're waiting on a ship to deliver stuff."
So I've been very fortunate, and I'm just so excited. And here's the deal: we want to come up with a good product and release a good product.
Exactly.
We don't want to just like we could probably put something out there and it'd be crap, and we don't want that'd be just. I think long term that'd be worse. Because people would wait, not there, So, we made this mistake, and to be honest with you, like when we released the Kickstarter or Indiegogo back in the day, it was supposed to be like a Rick Dangerous clone, and we decided to change it and do a whole new game. Which, if we had stuck to the Rick Dangerous clone, it would have been out long ago. Anyways, it's our bad. We made a mistake on that. But I think it will be worth it in the end. We're super excited about it. The game is going to be like the most advanced Super Nintendo homebrew probably ever made, to be honest with you, because there's not many out there homebrews for Super Nintendo, as you're aware.
City Hunter right now is it. So
City Hunter, yeah. I mean, there's a few out there, but like Pico or Pico, however you want to pronounce them, they've released a few Super Nintendo games, but those have been like unreleased ROMs that they finished.
Pico, like Eli, he didn't program. He got the licenses to legally.
Right. So these are like from scratch. Like I've been playing Justice Beaver, and it's already at that point where like you play it and it looks like it's a game that was released back in the day. Like it plays that well, and graphically it's really good. Amazing. But there's some limitations on the Super Nintendo. The development scene isn't as well along as the NES scene is, right? So we have limitations with sprite size and more so than even the NES, to be honest with you right now. So.
Wow.
It's interesting, man. So I might even write a book when it is done because it's been hell of a journey, man. I'm ready to get this done.
I mean, somebody who will help you release the book. That's too easy. You just got to get your paper down.
I still want to do a strategy guide with you for City Hunter for sure.
I mean, if you don't know this, like, and the subscribers probably don't at this point, like. I have 13 other authors that I'm publishing books with. Like I literally take the indie, and it's all about the community. So like literally, like I'm just helping people get their books out. We just had a Punch Out book get funded on Kickstarter that I'm helping out, which was a book that was.
I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah, it's called Pixel Perfect Punch Out, and like 6 years ago, the guy took it to Kickstarter and couldn't figure out how to print it, and then just gave everybody back their money, and he was charging like $150 a book and all this stuff, and I'm like, I got you. Now we did it was like $40. The book's huge. And it got 400% funded.
Nice, congrats.
And so, like, we're working on getting it printed now, and we're going to be shipping it out. Like, it's cool. And we have a Mortal Kombat book coming up next. Combat Companion with a different author. And so, like, we're doing cool stuff. John Riggs is doing a serial book.
Really? I'd love to see that. I know John, I know this, but he'll eat the old cereals and stuff, dude. I still have my, it's off topic here with cereals.
It's on topic for us. This is
right. I have an unopened box of Smurfberry Crunch. Do you remember Smurfberry Crunch?
Yeah.
I have an unopened box of that. I also have an unopened box of 3POs, C3PO cereal from Star Wars from the 80s.
Oh, that probably tastes delicious now.
Like it's still like sealed. I'm scared. It's so many preservatives.
We're looking at Sydney Hunter back there, by the way, because you got your green screen up.
Yeah.
I figured out why your head does that on the green screen. It's because the auto filter. Like I tried doing one, and my head did the same thing. Like my glasses, like in and out of reality.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. So I love classic cereals. They don't have like toys and cereals anymore and stuff like that. I'm so disappointed.
So question for you, John. How well do you see that picture over my right shoulder? Do you see a picture over my right shoulder right now?
Yes. The alien guy getting shot. Yeah.
So that right there is part of my 4th release for premium called A Robot Named Fight. It's a Roguevania, like a Metroidvania, but there's 4 billion possibilities in the game.
Okay.
Call it Super Metroid with 1 energy tank. That's what I'm calling it.
Oh, wow.
So that right there, though, is a canvas painting on wood. And an artist commissioned it. So that's going to be on a retro box that almost looks like Super Metroid. And then I am designing it like they did back in the day for the Super Nintendo, where they take some art and then they do the post copy around it.
I love that.
So I'm doing like all of our retro boxes. We're doing retro style. Like I have a little artist who painted that. Like, and there's more to it, obviously, because I think you only see a corner of it on the screen. But like stuff like that, like that's what I think is really cool. The hipster artist in me, the creator, I get to get my hands dirty and do real old school releases.
Cool. I like your art behind you too. It's really cool. Like that one.
Yeah, that one is pixel? My bot art. So I took some perlers and put it on some old paintings, and I used the Splatterhouse Wampaku graffiti art for it. And above it, which I think is off camera, is the end boss, and it actually fit the painting. And that's one of those velvet paintings from back in the day.
Cool. It's really
like
cool,
velveteen, like crazy stuff. It's the few things I could display in the small game room that I have here at my house. And
that's great, man.
I got a Switch kiosk over here, and the Vectrex in the corner, and Commodore, and NES TV, Sharp NES TV. It's like it's compact, but enough for one chair that I'm sitting in.
Right on.
And my big screen that I'm talking to you on, that's where I work on everything in 4K for all my book editing and game editing and fun stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a rad time, and I mean, I already forgot what game are we playing, John? Knights of Valor.
The Knights of Valor, yeah, it's the beat 'em up.
Valor. Yeah, so we're playing the beat 'em up. That's awesome. Yeah, I think I like the crosstalk afterward too. We'll have to see. Like in the comments, let us know. You like the crosstalk, or you just want to talk about the games and shut up? Like, what do you want us to do?
Leave a comment below. Yeah, please let us know for sure.
Let us know. Let us know if you can actually play Macross Plus, and like I'm just a terrible gamer, which could be the case. I don't know.
If you can, if you can play it on 3 credits, I'd be blown away. Like,
I want to see.
Amazing to see that play. Yeah.
That would be so cool. Hopefully, Knights of Valor is a solid one. But again, I haven't heard of it. It just looks like something, because I was working on a Sega Genesis book for a while, which Rob Strangman, who's doing memoirs, who did Memoirs of a Virtual Caveman, that book a while ago.
Okay.
He took over the Genesis book because I just won't have time with premium to get it done. And I was working on like all the bootleg games in there. Knights of Valor looks like one of those like beat 'em ups.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm gonna before we record next week or whatever, I'll do some review. I'll look it up and see if it was released on Mega Drive. That would be interesting if I pick that out of my weird brain.
Yeah, hell yeah. Okay. All right, brother. Well, we'll talk to you next week, man. I look forward to it.
It was awesome chatting as always.
Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye.